Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, My wife, a 28-year-old female of 7 years, has cheated on me in the most horrible way possible. A big shout out to Chris for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a guy, like he said, he's been with his wife for 7 years. She's 28 years old, and he, as you're gonna see, obviously is a nice guy. Thinks his wife is amazing, pride of his life, he even says that. Except the interesting thing is, since they got married and after the birth of their daughter, no interest in the SCX at all. Claims that she's lost all appetite for it after the childbirth, and he hardly gets any. But you're going to see that's hardly the case. You're going to see that he finds out that she is certainly getting it, making up for it in other places in the most horrible way possible. This poor guy. Fortunately, this guy handles this right in the sense that he knows, as you're going to see, there's no future with someone like this, even though his emotions are a roller coaster, and it begins the process of handling it accordingly. Now, we're going to go over here, guys, once again demonstrating you must pay attention to red flags, how sadly, if she ain't getting it from you, she's getting it someplace else. And when you see all these different other red flags and she's unwilling to try or seek help because she claimed like she's a medical issue or physically she's not interested, that says everything. And of course, other red flags like her guarding the phone all the time, very late nights out all the time, things like that. And of course, you have to be careful, gentlemen, for you good guys out there that are doing well for yourself, because a lot of gals will settle for the nice guy provider to give them the good life, rope you in with the SEX or some, and the second you get married and they get a ring on their finger, they're done. But sadly, they still continue on having fun with Chad and Tyrone on the side. You must be careful there, and you will see this in this story. So it starts off saying, I love my wife dearly. She's a gorgeous, sexy woman, and she's the pride of my life. Smack! Right there in that first sentence tells me a whole lot about this guy. Not that he in any way, shape, or form deserves what you're obviously going to hear about, but still, it just doesn't work that way. That's what nice guys do. We've been married for 7 years. Our SCX life is not what it was when we started dating, or even the first 2 years of our marriage. Well, there's a surprise. Roped you in early on in the dating scene with the special SCX and the fun stuff, but the second the ring was on her finger, okay, never mind. After giving birth to our daughter 5 years ago, she went through a bit of a postpartum depression, something I felt she was able to overcome with time. One thing she never recovered was her appetite for SCX, and our relationship, in that respect, becoming quite boring. Let's say that again. One thing she never recovered was her appetite for SCX. Well, you're about to find out, unfortunately, that was a big scam. Her appetite she's quite hungry. I tried countless times to be romantic and spice things up. I went as far as taking her on cruises and booking romantic weekends, which include spa treatments and massages. In other words, she's not giving you any, so you're going to then reward her for not giving you any loving, affection, any of what you got before. How do you think that's going to work out? Although she appreciated my gestures, it didn't do much to improve her overall sexual appetite towards me. I learned not to push her, because when I did, she got angry, and that just drove us further apart. I did manage to convince her to go see a therapist for about 6 months ago, after noticing that she was even more distant than usual. Well, let's remember something, guys. When women become distant and back away and all that, something's up. Okay? It's the same thing if guys do that. And if she isn't getting the SCX from you, it's extremely likely she's getting it from someplace else, or many someones someplace else. This guy has needs. He has every right to have them met, and if she's not going to do that, no one should be forced into anything. Let me make that abundantly clear. But he has a right to have issue with the continuation of this marriage at this point. He's obviously trying, but he's trying too hard, and you all know what I'm talking about here. During our first session with the marriage counselor, she confessed that after her pregnancy, she lost all interest in SCX. Can I get that in writing, sweetheart? It just doesn't appeal to her anymore. No desire at all. The therapist recommended she see a psychiatrist and a physician for treatment. She refused, no matter how many times I begged her to do it. Smack! Begged? No man should ever beg. Nobody should beg at all. That's going to turn a woman off, not turn her on. You need to lay down the law. and say you got needs and those needs can't be met, then the future of our marriage is certainly in jeopardy. I'm sure all of a sudden, by you laying down the law and making her realize her meal ticket's coming to an end, all of a sudden all the urges may come back magically. I admit it, that I became numb to feeling unwanted physically. She's a caring mother, and she cares for me too. Yeah, I can tell. Just not physically. That happens maybe once a month, if I'm lucky, and it's more of a routine. I know she doesn't enjoy it, so I basically resign myself to live with that, for our daughter's sake, and to save our marriage, but that's not what I'm seeking advice for. So you want a woman who's with you to enthusiastically want to be with you, get physical with you, quite often I might add, because if that's not the case, something's going on here, you know? And a woman deserves to have a guy that's good to her. The problem is when a guy's too good to her, well, you know what happens there. But here's what's going on in my opinion. She's 28 or 27 and he's 34. There's a 6-7 year age difference between the two of them. They got together when she was younger. My opinion, she found herself the provider, the nice guy provider who she could depend on, is not going to cheat on her, treat her like she's his world, the pride and joy, you heard that. And in the beginning, she did what she had to do to rope him in. But when she got him, then it's like, nope, never mind. Blame it on the pregnancy and the childbirth. No longer interested anymore. And he gets the bare minimum knowing full well he ain't going anywhere. But let me tell you, the same urges and desires for Chad and Tyrone that she had obviously before him, before she found her nice guy provider, doesn't go away. I've been working on a project renovating the spare bathroom in our home, and I requested a few days off from work to get it done. Yesterday morning, my wife went to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, as usual, and to drop our daughter off at daycare. It is my job to pick up our daughter in the afternoon, because I always get off work early, and my wife frequently works late. Works late, huh? She works as an administrative assistant in a real estate office downtown. I noticed when I went to the kitchen to grab a bottle of water just a minute or two after she left that she forgot her tablet on the counter. She always takes it with her, the same with her phone. She guards those things with her life. Clearly she doesn't work for any intelligence agencies, so she's guarding those things with her life for a reason. And these stories show time and time again when a gal does that, something's up. I never thought about looking through her phone or tablet because of respect, and she always kept them locked anyway. I noticed that the tablet had not gone into its lock screen as of yet, so I seized the opportunity to look. I know it's wrong to invade someone's privacy, more so that of a person I love and trust, but I couldn't control my impulse. You did it because you felt like something was wrong, that something was off. These guys always in these stories, you've heard these guys, if you guys watch me a while, you see a pattern here. These guys finally have had enough. They look at her phone, her tablet, her computer, whatever it may be, because they know something's up. And lo and behold, Pandora's box opens up. After touching the screen to prevent it from locking automatically, I picked it up and started browsing through it. My instinct told me to look at text messages apps first, although until that very moment, I had no reason whatsoever to think I would find something incriminating there. I opened it, and the first thing I see is a message group consisting of my wife, her two bosses, their 45-year-old male and a 38-year-old male, both married men, and one of her single co-workers, a 30-year-old male. What I saw once in the message group ended my life in so many ways that I can't really express how it feels. Brace yourselves, everyone. This is some very dirty stuff. In between a plethora of text messages from all four describing very explicit SCX acts and my wife's sexuality, and that the three of the men, I found photos and several videos of her having SCX with not just one, but sometimes all three men at the same time. This is the same girl, we all heard it, who said, "I've lost all appetite for the SCX after she got married. I don't know what's wrong with me." Refused to go to see a doctor for any physical problems at all. Gee, I wonder why. And did I not say, she ain't getting it from you, she's getting it someplace else, etc., etc. This poor guy. I know I gave him a hard time for making her the pride of his life and doing all these gestures to win her affection. but he's a good guy and nobody deserves this shit. The last one, recorded last Friday at one of the men's office, showed her and her two bosses getting it on. The two men were doing despicable things to her, things I've only seen in the most aberrant porno movies, and stuff that he never got. She not only seemed to enjoy it all, but would eagerly encourage them to do more, while she acted wildly. I've never seen her that way. It looked like she was possessed by the devil himself. Yeah, because you're the nice guy. These girls aren't going to act all wild and act like they're possessed by the devil. It's called an orgasm, dude, which you clearly never gave her. The bad boys make her go that way, not the nice guys. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. There was obviously a third person video recording this. He could be heard in the foreground, laughing and narrating it like it was a sporting event. I recognized her coworker's voice, a single 30-year-old male. Well, as awful as this is, and he probably felt like he wanted to end himself, it's always best to get copies and forward this and send this and screenshots and record all these things. It's over. Goodbye. I don't care what is going on. You do not deserve this, bro. You're 34 years old. You have your life ahead of you. But guarantee the number one thought in his mind is his daughter. Fair enough. But you know what? Doesn't matter. You can't stay with someone like this. I looked at a few more videos and realized that they took turns at her, and often at 3 at once. I was horrified. I took my phone out and video recorded some of these scenes from the tablet screen, knowing that she was certainly denied ever happened. Of course she would. And once I lost access to her tablet, I would have no way to prove any of this. After all was done, I put the tablet exactly where she left it, and while crying, I started thinking about what I should do. Right. He has every right to cry and feel heartbroken for multiple reasons, you know? This poor bastard. But he sure as hell can't be with her after this. He should have been with her before. On top of the wife's horrifying betrayal, I can only imagine what these men think of me. Surely I'm their laughingstock, and who knows what else they have told. Yeah, well, 2 of the men are married. And they are obviously her bosses that own this business. And I guarantee you, even though their wives probably suspect them to being scumbags, the wives aren't going to exactly like this too much. And now you have evidence to send to their wives. And those wives can get a piece of their business, amongst many other things. She came home late, probably working overtime, sarcasm. And when she came home, I ignored her, and she didn't seem bothered by my demeanor. All I know is I have no choice but to divorce her, and take my daughter as far away from this lying, cheating monster. You're darn right. Although it seems impossible, I also hope to find a reason to forgive her. Smack! No, that's going to lead you down the path of staying with her. Now, he just said I got to divorce her and get away from this monster and take my daughter away. Yeah, you want to forgive her in time so you don't walk around hating your heart forever. Fair enough, but still, not now. Let God forgive her. This isn't time for forgiveness, my friend. My mind and my heart are broken, and I don't know how to deal with such an unexpected act of betrayal. My question to you is this: am I correct to think about protecting our daughter and myself first, rather than trying to save our marriage? You're damn right. You're right to act to save your daughter and yourself, then try to say there is no saving this marriage. In what crazy-ass, funny farm universe is there a way to save this marriage? She's repeatedly cheating on you, and not just with like one dude that maybe she claims she fell in love with her bosses and coworker, and they're all tag teaming her and all that. I mean, Jesus, it's like wrestling where one of them slaps the other's hand and the other one comes in and does his work and they go back and forth here. Come on, man. Honest to God. And the fact that you weren't getting any and the lying. You're 34. You got your whole life ahead of you. You're just beginning your prime. You got all this evidence here. Now, depending on where you live, if it's a no-fault divorce state, then you're shit out of luck in spite of all this. But you know what? You could actually maybe use this footage here to your advantage. I'm sure she wouldn't want her family seeing these videos and pictures, or all her friends, although I'm sure all her friends know about this. That can make things very easy for you in the divorce process. What you need to do is talk to your attorney, probably get a female attorney, because she'll be very vicious, and use all things at your disposal to protect yourself and your daughter, because this woman has no love for you. There is no possible way of fixing this. I just hope like hell he's in an at-fault divorce state. Now, guys, this is the end of his thing, and I guarantee you there's going to be updates. So I'll be sending them. I'll be doing those videos when they come out. And if you see an update, let me know before I if I don't get to it. But you cannot be with someone like this. Now some comments here before I wrap this video up. One guy says here, protect yourself and your daughter. There is no marriage to save. Save the evidence, hire an attorney, and file for divorce. Get yourself tested for an STD and a paternity test. She's worth fighting for. Yeah, I forgot to mention that part. The paternity test. How do you know that kid is his? And that's the last thing this poor bastard needs, to find out that this kid isn't even his. Another guy says here, I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's not your fault. Save the evidence and consult an attorney. Do the DNA test too. If there's a paternity issue, it will be discovered in this day and age. Better sooner than later. Oh, once you have all the divorce stuff completed, send the tape to the HR department. They would love to know what these guys are doing in their corporate offices. You're darn right. You need to go scorched earth. You need to go nuclear. I always fucking say it wrong. Good Lord, this is a nightmare, this guy says. I'm so sorry. Protect yourself. Protect your daughter. You're going to have to harden your heart and not be swayed or deterred once you realize the gig is up. Prepare for gaslighting and possibly outright lying, etc. Guarantee there's going to be gaslighting and crying and everything. I know this is completely counterintuitive, but you are going to have to treat her as you would any person you knew was out to destroy you. You may want to start recording your interactions with her, because if she's capable of this, she's capable of anything. Yeah, exactly. Another one here, this guy says, now listen to this, I like this one. This guy says, I'm a 69-year-old guy here, married 45 faithful years and together 51. Whenever possible, I encourage reconciliation. And in this situation, I can see no answer other than divorce. So Mr. Marriage himself is saying, no way, Jose. You might forgive her as an individual someday, but will never forget. And those images will be in your mind forever. I would leave for the weekend to anywhere. Say nothing to her. Do not accept contact. Call an attorney immediately to file for divorce and for adultery, and if possible, also see what you can sue the 3 coworkers for alienation of affection, as well as the company if they have a morality clause in their contract. Yes, exactly. If any of these guys are married, get contact info to their wives. Do not let them on what you're doing. Then have her serve divorce papers at work, along with having the company and the 3 guys served at the same time and able to press charges. Simultaneously, contact each of these wives with details and let them know you have all the evidence they need. Lastly, send a communication blast to all their friends and relatives that you have filed for divorce with the details as to why before she has the chance to spin it. Yes, don't let her control the narrative. However, I would have all those videos. You can arrange emails to, you can set a timer to emails. And pretty much you can say, look, I got all these things that when you serve her, I'm going to send all these things to your friends and family unless you give me the reasonable terms that I want. And consult the attorney about this first, of course, and don't put that on in an email or text. You can say it outright to her face. But use that footage, because you wouldn't want her family to see that to your advantage. But if not, send it to everyone. Hopefully, given the depravity of her betrayal, a judge will find her as being an unfit mother and award you full custody. Please do update me. Yeah, that would be wonderful, but we can all hope that this guy gets full custody. So we will see, guys. I hate to end this on a cliffhanger, not knowing what's going on here, but I had to do this one because it was nuts. But I'll be paying attention for part 2, maybe part 3, because there is no way that this is over just here, unless he's too embarrassing to delete the whole thing. We shall see. But, guys, pay attention to red flags. I cannot stress that enough. And you have to look for red flags nowadays. And again, you can't be with someone like this. And if suddenly, you're married or whatever, and she suddenly stops having the SEX or lacks interest, is not making any effort, you got to pay attention to that. You deserve better. And sadly, how women will choose a nice guy provider to settle with, but they're still having fun with the bad boys on the side. It never ceases to amaze me. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, definitely email me a good story you find online on Reddit if you find one. Short stories, long stories, I'll take them all. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.